Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. In last week's video I had shown some of the work I do when I was taking fish that I had raised and putting them in various aquariums that I maintain. And a couple of people had expressed in some of the comments that they enjoyed actually seeing some of my real work, like the work I get paid to do. So I thought I would show in this week's video the kind of work that I typically get. This is not something I built. This is an aquarium that someone had, and they ended up with a problem, which should be pretty obvious, that they couldn't take care of. It is overgrown with hair algae, and they called me in to take care of it and get the aquarium balanced and get everything set up so that, well, either they can maintain it themselves, or if they're lazy enough, they get me to continue maintaining it. Now you can see from the general health of the fish and the actual coral itself, there's really not a whole lot wrong with this tank. It is just imbalanced sufficiently that the hair algae is just going wild. So of course the first thing I need to do would be to prune all that out. Now what I did before I started that is I had a look at what filtration system they have, and this is pretty typical. This is a large protein skimmer. This one actually had a biopellet reactor as well, which is a little bit different than what some people run. And then in the sump they also have a fair amount of live rock. It's not nothing wrong with this. It's like I said, it's a standard commercial setup. The protein skimmer is probably the biggest part of this. You can see it's pulling in lots of material there. Live rock is not as common in most sumps that I get jobs to do, but anyway, it's nothing really too out of the ordinary. Now obviously if I built this I would build it a lot differently, but you can't always have that option. So after a fairly lengthy pruning, I managed to pull out an awful lot of the hair algae, as you can tell. That's in this container here. But this is just a cosmetic effect. I mean, the hair algae will just grow back. What needs to be done is balance the chemistry, remove the nutrients that are causing the problems, and in the end you end up with this. This is about 2 weeks later. The hair algae problem is completely gone. I'm not really going to go into any of the details of how to do that because lots of people have shown videos on that as well, and I don't want to make this video too long. Part of the reason for doing this video is I want to showcase some of my work for possible clients as well, so I have to keep them reasonably short. But as you can see, the end result here, the coral's doing really well and everything is thriving. And the only other thing I'm going to do here for this tank is the client expressed that they didn't like the way the rock had been originally put in. They wanted me to rearrange it, and then I told them, like, well, we just got the tank balanced, so it had to wait a little while. Then what I do here in the next clip is I'm going to show you rearrangement, which just gives it a few more crevices, and then also showcases the coral a bit better, because sometimes coral, like some of these pieces here, are kind of hidden a bit, and if you're going to spend the money to put coral in an aquarium, it's always a good idea that it's front and center so everyone can see them. So as I said earlier, I want to keep this video fairly short because I just want to use it as a portfolio, so to speak, for prospective clients, and most of them don't want to spend too long watching videos with lots of details about how I balance chemistry and that sort of stuff. If you guys like this sort of video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will occasionally interject the odd one of work I do. My channel will still probably be mostly about DIYs and various builds and experiments that I'm doing. But as I said, if there's enough interest, I will definitely throw a few of these in every now and then. And, well, it's entirely up to you guys. So anyway, if you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe. And I'll definitely see you in the next video. The next clip's coming up here shortly, and it will show you how I changed the tank over. Well, it was changed over mostly because, like I said, the client had specific requests. And I fiddled around with it for a little while, and they'd have a look at it, and then I fiddled around with it for a little bit more, and eventually it got to this point where there's lots of little caves and stuff for the fish to go in and out of, and also places that I can mount the coral to that are up higher, and also I think there's actually a couple more pieces of coral have been added at this point too. And like I said, the tank's just nice and clean now. Everything shows up much better. They were happy with it, and I think it actually looks pretty good, so this is the way it stayed. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.